The vegetable that we like to show you how to cut properly is American broccoli. And being American broccoli, generally the stem is really kind of fibrous, therefore we want to remove it as much as we can toward the crown as we can, and that will minimize the of course the cooking time and the fiber when we try to eat it. Okay, so in Chinese cleaver, with a Chinese cleaver, we could actually do a pretty good job by biting into the stem and then peel it down toward the crown as much as we can. And of course, you cannot do it in one motion, so therefore it breaks off. Therefore, you pick up the continuation where it left off, and you can see that this strip is pretty long, and so is this one. So I can see that we need to get rid of this one, this area here, as you can see them, and maybe a little bit over here. As closest to the crown as we can. And also, when you cut to this point, we want to remove the bottom part of it because there's a lot of bacteria in there. Now we got this ready to cut. Realistically, we want to remove the crown out of the stem. Okay, and then now we go on to separately show you how to cut the floweret and then the stem. Okay, here is how to cut these floweret, and just cut them at the junction as much as you can without being very small. And when it gets to a cluster area, which is the center, you just cut them like so, rather than cut them in individual small floweret, just like this. This will be good for stir-fry time, normally about 3 to 5 minutes or so. And these guys here, we need to put a little slit on it, not necessarily want to cut it in half. And you can see that when we do this, the flavor gets in as well as lessen the time in cooking. Now these are pretty small, so we don't have to cut any of these guys. And then now on the stem area, so we could do a two-way. One, of course, is to what we call a roll cutting, which we made a 30-degree angle cut. And far as the length, we're looking for maybe about 1.25 to 1.5 inches the most, something of this nature. Okay. Now on this one, as you notice, there was kind of a little nut. You might say nugget-like. So we're going to, instead of cutting in half, we'll put a little slit on here, and also this will give us the time that we wanted to do. Now I saved a little piece here so that we could show you another way of cutting the stem. One, of course, is cut the stem in half, then further in quarter on both pieces, and then again going into a length cutting, and somewhere in this order, okay? And then this one here. Now you can see that this piece is much bigger than, let's say, this, so we're going to cut a little slit here just like we did on the little nugget area there. And this length here, we just cut them in half because so Chinese cooking is required to a cutting tool like this. So combining these two guys, these are pretty much now cooking the same time.